Fatty liver disease is one of the most silently growing health issues in the world. Millions of people have it, and most don't even know. It creeps in quietly, showing little to no symptoms at first. And before you know it, your liver could be inflamed, scarred, or even on the verge of failure. Let's start with what it actually is. Fatty liver disease happens when excess fat builds up inside your liver cells. Now, a little bit of fat in the liver is normal. Even healthy people have some. But when fat makes up more than 5 to 10% of your liver's weight, that's when it becomes a problem. This excess fat begins to interfere with how the liver works. And since your liver is responsible for over 500 essential functions, from filtering toxins and making proteins to helping with digestion, you can imagine how dangerous it is when it starts breaking down. There are two main types of fatty liver disease. One is alcohol-related, and the other has nothing to do with drinking. The first is called alcoholic fatty liver disease, or AFLD. This develops in people who drink heavily and regularly. Alcohol is directly toxic to liver cells, and over time this leads to fat accumulation, inflammation, and scarring. The second and more common type is called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or NAFLD. And this one is on the rise globally, especially in countries like the United States, where obesity, insulin resistance, and metabolic syndrome are common. What's shocking is that even children are now being diagnosed with NAFLD due to poor diet and sedentary lifestyles. In its early stages, fatty liver disease is completely reversible, but if left untreated, it can progress. It starts with simple steatosis, which is just fat buildup. Then comes NASH, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, where the liver becomes inflamed and damaged. Over time, this inflammation leads to fibrosis, which is the formation of scar tissue. Eventually, that scar tissue can turn into cirrhosis, a condition where the liver becomes permanently damaged, hardened, and stops functioning properly. In worst cases, it can even lead to liver cancer. The scary part is that most people don't feel any symptoms during the early stages. No pain, no nausea, nothing that would make you suspect something's wrong. That's why it's often called a silent disease. But as it progresses, some people may start feeling fatigue, pain in the upper right abdomen, or unexplained weight loss. Sometimes the skin or eyes may turn yellow, a condition known as jaundice, a sign that liver function is failing. So, what causes fatty liver in the first place? The biggest culprit is insulin resistance. This means your body isn't using insulin properly, so sugar builds up in your blood, and your liver starts converting that sugar into fat. People who are overweight or obese, especially those with large waistlines, are at high risk. Poor diet plays a major role. Diets high in refined carbs, sugary drinks, and processed foods increase fat in the liver. Lack of exercise, genetics, high cholesterol, and conditions like type 2 diabetes all add to the risk. But here's the good news. Fatty liver disease is manageable and even reversible, if caught in time. The first line of defense is lifestyle change. If you're overweight, losing even 5 to 10% of your body weight can dramatically reduce liver fat. It's not about crash diets. It's about sustainable changes. A Mediterranean-style diet rich in vegetables, whole grains, nuts, healthy fats, and lean proteins is highly recommended. Cutting out sugary drinks, limiting red meat, and avoiding trans fats can make a huge difference. Physical activity is just as important. Exercise not only helps burn fat but also improves insulin sensitivity, which helps your liver process fats better. Even 30 minutes of brisk walking 5 days a week can be a powerful weapon against fatty liver. There are currently no approved medications for NAFLD, but researchers are actively working on it. In some cases, doctors may prescribe medications for related conditions like diabetes or high cholesterol, which indirectly help with liver health. For people with advanced stages, more intensive interventions may be needed, including monitoring liver enzymes, imaging tests like ultrasounds or MRIs, or even liver biopsies to assess the level of damage. The key is early detection. That's why regular checkups, especially if you're at risk, are so important. A simple blood test showing elevated liver enzymes could be the first red flag. From there, your doctor may order more specific tests to confirm. One of the most overlooked aspects of fatty liver management is stress. Chronic stress elevates cortisol levels, which can worsen insulin resistance and fat storage. Practices like yoga, meditation, and quality sleep can genuinely support liver health by reducing inflammation and hormonal imbalance. And if you're wondering whether fatty liver disease always leads to something serious, the answer is Not always. Many people with mild NAFLD live normal lives with no complications, but it's the unknown progression that makes it dangerous. You don't know who will get better and who will move towards cirrhosis. That's why taking action early matters. Some people ask about detoxes and liver cleanses, but most of these are unproven and potentially harmful. The liver is actually very good at detoxing itself. What it needs is less sugar, less alcohol, more water, fiber, healthy fats, and regular movement. Ultimately, your liver is a resilient organ. It has the amazing ability to regenerate, even if up to 70% of it is damaged. But this regeneration takes time, consistency, and respect. Think of your liver as your body's hardworking engine. You wouldn't run your car without oil, right? So don't ignore your liver while it's quietly doing hundreds of jobs behind the scenes. Fatty liver disease might be silent, but your actions can speak louder. The sooner you start taking care of it, the better chance you have of reversing the damage and living a long, healthy life. It's not about perfection, it's about progress.